zone in your next store. You can cash out anytime with PayPal or an e-gift card to Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code TIME for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TIME. Bad credit happens to good people. In fact, millions of Americans are victims of incorrect or unfair items on their credit report without even knowing. But don't worry, because the Credit Repair Helpline is here for you. We'll communicate with creditors and the credit bureaus on your behalf to address unfairly reported items like late payments, collections, charge-offs, and even bankruptcies, which can lead to a higher credit score. Our proven process has helped hundreds of thousands of people just like you see meaningful improvements to their credit profile. Working to repair your credit today can help you get the new car, new home, or new job you've always wanted. Call 800-368-4857 now and get your free credit score. Call 800-368-4857 to start working to restore your credit. The call is free and the credit evaluation is free. So call 800-368-4857. That's 800-368-4857. Start building your credit today. 800-368-4857.
Was the chicken humanely put down?
New Parliament will be back. Just look as the Energy High Comedy Tour second late show out Saturday, November 27th, Bob Hope Theater. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Crumble Cookies, the nation's best cookies, have come to Turlock, Elk Grove, Lodi, Riverbank, and Stockton. That's right, the nation's best cookies. Don't believe it? Try them yourself at any Crumble Cookie store located in Turlock, Elk Grove, Lodi, Riverbank, and Stockton. The menu changes weekly. Until Saturday, enjoy pumpkin roll, sugar featuring circus animal, Halloween theme, dirt cake, and milk chocolate chip. Order for delivery, curbside pickup, or visit us in-store Monday through Saturday. All made fresh daily.
We don't think so. RexMD has FDA-approved generic Viagra medication of that little blue pill starting at just $2. Why pay huge pharmacy prices when you can get the same results for a fraction of the cost? Give your bank account a break. Just fill out a brief survey. And if appropriate, you'll get a starter pack prescription of industry-leading generic Viagra medication. Just call 800-214-2961. We've helped over 100,000 men with their sex lives and with getting prescription medications correct. Your consultation is free, there's no doctor office visits, and your shipping is always free. Get your starter pack now. Call 800-214-2961. That's 800-214-2961.
Well, Insurance Company presents.
Don't you just love the smell of books? This is the library. Sorry, ma'am. We're looking for a book titled Liberty Mutual Customizes Your Car Insurance so you only pay for what you need.
I don't think we carry that, but check nonfiction.
He really does devour literature.
Please leave.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
A lot of people do not like their health plan right now, but great news, you're not stuck with it. There's another choice called MediShare, and it's a great option if you're self-employed or changing jobs or part of the gig economy. The typical family saves $500 a month with MediShare, and the customer satisfaction rate is double that of typical health insurance. Find out more, including how much you'll save. Just call 844-49-BIBLE. That's 844-49-BIBLE.
History is going on now at Ashley Home Store. Take 55% off store-wide plus 55 months, no interest financing. America's #1 mattress and furniture store, Ashley Home Store. This is home.
Let's get ready to rumble! Welcome to the show. My name is Charlton with Big C. This is Charlton and Big C Sports, coming to you worldwide on the Big C Sports Network, on the #1 network in the United States of America. And Big C Sports has been voted the #1 sports zoo in the universe, according to everybody who loves sports at all fair level war. Today is the beautiful October the 29th, 2021. Grounded and boys says bonjour. The Vinny Vinny BJ. Today's show is sponsored by your Northern California Cadillac dealers, home of the all-new Cadillac Escalade, the standard of the world. When you go by and test drive yours, tell them Charlton and Big C sent them, as well as a fleet of Cadillac cars all around the world. You can follow Big C Sports on 17 podcast applications, from Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Alexa, iHeartRadio, CastBox Podcast, Deezer Podcast, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Geo Savannah out of London, England, Podtail Podcast. You can follow us on Hubhopper, Luminary, Stitcher, Radio Line, as well as all the sports podcasts all over the universe. Just say Big T Sports Podcast. Really appreciate that. I love giving out our show. One of the great Happy Friday right before Halloween. Oh, it's Halloween? Oh my goodness, be careful what you wear on Halloween. Hopefully you don't be out there grabbing out crap. That is amazing. Some people give you one, just one. One candy. Is that all I get is one candy? You got a whole box of candy and I get one. All friend level war. I really appreciate everyone coming to this beautiful Happy Friday in the sports universe. Really appreciate that. Got some football, some basketball, some baseball. We start out with Friday Night Lights. I always want to say Big C Sports Podcast, SB nominated Big C Sports Podcast. No producer in my ear, no teleprompter, no one screaming at me telling me, hey man, did I break your concentration? I do the show, I do all the commercials, I edit the show, I do the scripts, touchdown, home run, 3-point play. Oh man, Willie, he's run all the way. Or tonight, the pitch. Swung on, hit deep, left field, back to the wall, home run. Say hello to my little friend. It's all friend level war. The game down in Atlanta. They took that midnight train to Georgia. The Houston Astros took that. But also, I want to say, I love doing our show. I pay homage to everybody in my family. From my mother's side of the show, I really want to say that I pay homage to my great-grandmother. Called her Mama. She kept the family together. She was a seer. Made sure everybody had food in their belly. My grandfather, my great-grandfather, Pop, he was a patriarch of the family. And also former Negro League baseball player. I got some stuff to talk about with Negro League baseball players. If anybody have ever heard the name of Buck O'Neil with the Kansas City Institute and started with the Monarchs in the heyday of the Negro Leagues. And, of course, Hank Aaron, the great Hammerin' Hank, played 3 months with the Indianapolis Clowns and then slugged his way into baseball history. And they may celebrate him down in Atlanta tonight. Also, he said, hey, get out of that barn, boy. It made the best moonshot in the universe, all friend level war. My grandmother, Muddy, she was a seer, a very savvy, smart business person, kept my butt out of trouble many times. Even to this day, really appreciate that. My grandfather, Hezekiah, also a seer, did a lot of good things to keep the family close. My mother, my beautiful mother, started a Head Start program in Northern California. Also helped win the Little League Championship of the universe. Give my mother some praise. Always says rise and shine. Everybody knows in a game, this is a man's world. Not so fast, my friend. She said it's a woman's world. Ain't no man on the planet unless it came out of a woman. Except for one person on the planet. I really appreciate that. So give her praise for that. On my father's side of the family, the patriarch of the family is Albert Curry. He was a pastor, owned 2 service stations in Oakland, California. Also had 2 churches. He built one of them and really appreciate that. Very smart businessman. And my grandmother, Alberta Curry, she was also someone that helped keep the family together, running the churches as well as the gas stations in Oakland, California. My father, retired Air Force mechanic and fighter pilot, made sure that planes should fly high to keep us safe at night. Always said, develop your mind to its highest extent. Give us a praise to my brother Todd. He's the one with that loud voice. That's where I get my loud voice from. Sounds like an airplane taking off sometimes. It's all fair. And Lamar, I really appreciate that. My beautiful daughter, Daisy, the most beautiful daughter in the history of the universe, oftentimes helping me set up at sporting events. When coaches came to town, she would help me set up, getting their information so we could make sure they got a chance to listen to Big C Sports Podcast. Also, my son, Malcolm, all over the NBA stats world, all over the NBA stats universe, keeps me fed as well when it comes to college sports as well as NBA. And then also a Big C in the past with his wealth of knowledge. Really appreciate it as we get ready to rumble. I love Big C Sports Podcast on a beautiful October the 29th. I also want to say we have a Veterans Crisis Hotline that I love giving out for every show, no matter what people are going through in their own lives. We have a Veterans Hotline. They really are experienced helping veterans and their loved ones get help. You call 800-273-8255. That's 800-273-8255. Or you can text 838-255. That's 838-255. And you can get our veterans some help. Also, if you're online, as a lot of people do now, go to veteranscrisisline.net. That's veteranscrisisline.net. Give us a praise. Praise, praise, praise. We talk about first responders all the time. Who do you think helps our veterans when they come home? Also, very happy to be affiliated with Valley Homes Weekly TV on Dish TV, Direct TV, TV of the, I was going to say the first place San Francisco Giants, but it's all about Atlanta and Houston tonight. But when you reach out to them, just tell them Big C Central. Our goal is simple. I want those World Series tickets. It's raining down in Georgia, so the ball game already underway. Got a little rain. Raindrops keep falling on my curveball. Hit deep. Right field. Back to the wall. Home run. Oh, my God. Raindrops are falling in Atlanta. You don't say. Are you saying it rains in Atlanta? Are you serious? It rained in California like once a year. It's all fair. In Leavenworth, really looking forward to that. Great, good old boys getting off to a good start. You can also follow Big C Sports on 4 TV platforms. One black man in the universe. Think about that. Xfinity, Comcast TV, Apple TV, Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, and a lot of smart TVs all over the universe. Really appreciate that with Big C Sports Podcast. I want to say also thank you to Xfinity, Comcast TV, and Comcast Spotlight Effect TV for presenting Big C Sports to the universe. Just like in Genesis 1:3, God said, let there be light. Open yourself on the page. Play Big C Sports Podcast. You will see our apps really pop up all over the world, whether it's Google, Alexa, Spotify, Spreaker, Apple, iHeartRadio, CastBox, Deezer, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, GeoSavant out of London, England, Podtail, Hubhopper, Luminary, Stitcher, Radio Line, and also a lot of good things that are coming to the sports universe. Really do appreciate the growth with Big C Sports Podcast. Also on YouTube, and really appreciate that. I want to also say this segment sponsored by Budweiser Zero. It has 0% alcohol, 100% on this game. Sports fans, when you're watching the big game, eat the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with what's all this exotic meat. Give the Big C Burger some praise. I know some good old boys are tailgating with that pig or a Big C Burger. It could be cow. It could be some duck. It could be some pheasant. Whatever it is, it's a tasty burger, and it comes with what's all this exotic meat. When you eat the Big C Burger, I really appreciate everything that's going on in the world of sports. What we're going to do is bring you to some, are you ready for some football? Of course you are. Some Friday night party. I'm telling you, all the sports is a billion-dollar industry. And boys and girls sports is the foundation to this billion-dollar industry. It doesn't get much bigger for young kids than Friday Night Lights. I know a lot of guys that, like, whatever they're doing right now, they get their start playing high school football. Give us some praise. Whether it's high school football or women playing volleyball, baseball, basketball, they're all fair level war. The number one team, according to Big C Sports in high school football, number one, Modern Day of Santa Ana, California. They are 7-0 on this season, had a big win last week over our league rival Servite of Anaheim. IMG Academy is number 2 in the country at 7-0 out of Florida. And then number 3, Westlake out of Texas. They are 8-0, followed by number 4, St. John Bosco of Bellflower, California. They're in the same league with Modern Day. Number 5, Servite Anaheim of Anaheim, California. They're 8-1 on the season. They are number 5 in the country, as well as St. John Bosco's number 4 in the country, and Modern Day number 1 is number 1 in the country. They're all in the same Trinity League. Give that league some praise. Give them some praise. They tend to get the best high school talent in Southern California. I don't know how. It's all fair. You have 3 of the top 5 teams in the country, and their record shows they've all gone out of state and knocked off state champions. It's all fair and level war from Texas to Illinois to Arizona. They've done it. Bergen Catholic, number 6 in the country. They're 8-0. Number 7 is Collins Hills, Georgia. They are 9-0. Got a little rain down in Georgia tonight. Number 8, Center Grove. Them good old boys are 9-0, followed by number 9, Centennial of Southern California, and they are 9-0. Number 10, Katy High School of Texas. That's Big C's high school football Friday Night Lights top 10 high school football teams. And I know because I counted all of them. And may they all tailgate with the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with all the exotic meat. All fair and level war. Please, I always give the PSA to high school kids. Don't do drugs. Just up with hope and down with dope. Jesse Jackson told us that. Up with hope and down with dope. And please do not let your friends drink and drive. And don't you do it. Be a leader. Be the team captain. Anyone thinking of drinking and driving, take the keys and call Uber or call their parents. But do not let your friends do anything dumb and drink and drive. That's a no. Be the MVP of your friends and do not let anyone drink and drive. I want to say, are you ready for some football? Some college football, all fair in Leavenworth. But before I do that, I want to just say, I want to pay homage to the World Series tonight because it's already underway. And tonight, the series in the World Series is tied at 1 apiece. That means it's the best of 7. Now, the best of 5. The first team to win the next 3 games will win. We already had game 1. It was Atlanta 6 and Houston 2. And then that game was on Tuesday. On Wednesday, it was Houston 7 and then Atlanta 2. Then they took that midnight train. They took the midnight train to Georgia. As Gladys Knight said, I thought they flew airplanes. No, they put them on a train. They put them on the midnight train to Georgia. The Midnight Train to Georgia. Come on, producer, the Midnight Train to Georgia. I tell you, I produce my show. It's all fair in love and war. So now we have Friday night in the beautiful city of Atlanta, just outside of Atlanta. And Houston's pitching Garcia. He's 11-8 on the season. And then Atlanta is doing with Anderson. He's 9-5. That game is on Fox Sports. Go ahead, give us the praise, Fox Sports. And give a shout out to Big C Sports. That's all fair level work. I'm going to go with my over-under because of the rain. I'm going to say it's going to be a 5-4 score. Now, think about it. The first two games, in Houston, Atlanta won 6-4. So they won by a wide margin by 4 runs. And then game 2, Atlanta won 7-2. They won by an even wider margin of 5 runs. I'm going to say because of the rain. Oh, somebody wanted it to rain. Because of the rain, I'm going to say it's going to be right around a 5-4 score. Maybe 4-3. The over-under in this is 8. So I'm going to say it's going to go over. And I'm just going to go with a 5-4 win. Don't know who's going to get it done. But I can guarantee the team that scores the most runs will win this game. Give Big C Sports some praise. Come on, give me praise. And then we'll have also, so game 3 tonight. Saturday, Houston's going to be at Atlanta, 8:09 p.m. First pitch on Fox Sports. Sunday, we'll have Houston at Atlanta again. That would be an 8:15 p.m. first pitch on Fox Sports. And if we have necessary next week, we have Tuesday, we'll be in Atlanta, actually in Houston. And also, if necessary, Atlanta will be at Houston for game 7. I don't know if we'll get to 7 games. I was saying it's going to be a 6-game series when I started, and that's what I'm sticking with. And that's Big C's thoughts on the World Series for 2021. But I really want to bring up something I told you. My grandfather called on Pop. He played Negro League baseball. When you think about how segregated the world has been in the world of sports, I got to just say, in the Major League Baseball with the Chicago Cubs, there's a guy by the name of Buck O'Neil. And when you think about it, Major League Baseball, Chicago Cubs, O'Neil, up until his death in October 6, 2006, a month before his 95th birthday, was the unofficial black baseball historian. You think about there's a gentleman by the name of Kendrick that did a lot of study on Negro League baseball, and a lot of people oftentimes they don't know much about it. But Major League Baseball, Hammer and Hank, the ballpark down in Georgia tonight, is something that Hammer and Hank, they may pay homage to him throughout the whole World Series. Every American should engage in the history of black baseball. Give it some praise to understand the long story of the way baseball has been seen as a point of entry to an integrated American life. There's an Adrian Burgos, a University of Illinois Urbana campaign. When you think about it, a Champaign, Illinois professor who studies sports and histories, both America and baseball confront the history of race. And the museum is a beacon for all people that follow sports. And I just want to bring that a little bit of thought to the baseball developed in the aftermath of the Civil War. Baseball included mixed races. When you think about mixed rosters of black Americans, Latinos, and white Americans on military, college, and even company teams across the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast. Everybody thinks about the World Series right now being a great game. But the Negro Leagues can trace its roots back to 3 independent black teams joining from the Cuban Giants. They picked up the nickname because they toured in Cuba in 1885. Think about that. You may not hear that on Fox Sports tonight, but you hear it on Big C Sports. The Giants spawned teams that operated without an official structure until Rube Foster, the owner of the Chicago American Giants, called a meeting in 1920 at the Kansas City YMCA. It's a brick building still standing in the patio around the corner from the museum. Today, the left exterior of the building features murals dedicated to O'Neil and the Monarchs in its future site of the Buck O'Neil Education and Research Center. So that's back in Kansas City, Missouri. I know people talk about Jackie Robinson breaking the color barrier with the Brooklyn Dodgers in 1947, part of what catalyzed the civil rights movement known as the professional career that started Kansas City Monarchs. Alongside the legendary pitcher Satchel Paige, people talk about Tom Brady. Satchel Paige played professional baseball till he was 59 years old. Tom Brady had to play another 15 years to do what Satchel Paige was doing. But I want to close with this because I think it's important. Foster and other Midwest owners formed the Negro National League, in the first organized league that existed in variations until the 1960, right about 1960. And then a lot of historians, they argue about the exact year. But cities from Birmingham, Alabama, to Pittsburgh, to Newark, New Jersey, Many people know the story of Jackie Robinson breaking the color barrier with the Brooklyn Dodgers in 1947, and then Satchel Paige, a legendary pitcher with the Kansas City Monarchs. No one played longer than he did, and also played 3 months with the Indianapolis Clouds, the great Hank Aaron, Hammer and Hank. So when you hear about it, you only hear about that on Big C Sports. You really don't hear about it on other things. That's why I say pay homage to the Negro League. Major League Baseball has a long black history, and I know there's a lot of teams that shy away from African-American players now, but it's amazing the history of African-Americans, and I'm so proud that my great-grandfather also played in the Negro League Baseball. And think about that. And Big C Sports talks about it, and you have programs like ABC Sports, Fox Sports, ESPN. They may give you 10 seconds or 2 seconds on it, but I really appreciate bringing that to the sports world on Big C Sports. May the best team win between the Houston Astros and the Atlanta Braves. All fair and level war. Some college football. Are you ready for some football? Some college football is in the air, just like love is in the air for college football. And tonight, we do have a couple of games already underway. But if you think about it, Princeton's at Cornell, 7 o'clock kickoff on ESPNU. Navy is at Tulsa at 7:30 p.m. on ESPN2. And then the battle for the state of Nevada, the UNLV Running Rebels at the Nevada Wolfpack. And speaking of Wolfpack, it's sponsored by the Big T Burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with all this exotic meat. And last I hear, a wolf pack. A pack of wolves. A pack of wolves can be exotic meat on the Big T Burgers. It's all fair and level, or a pack of wolves. Man, it tastes a little bit gamey, but it's all fair and level. You got to love that. Also on Saturday, we have Iowa at Wisconsin, noontime kickoff, ESPN. We have Cincinnati. They're going to play at Tulane. It's a noontime kickoff on ESPN2. Miami's at Pitt. That's noontime on the ACC network. I'm going to take you over to Rutgers. They are playing at Illinois in the Big Ten on the Big Ten network. And then we have Hampton. They are at Robert Morris noontime, ESPN3. Dartmouth is playing at Harvard. A noontime kickoff on ESPN. And Holy Cross, they're at Lehigh. A noontime kickoff on ESPN. Iowa State in the Big 12. Them good boys are playing at West Virginia. 2 p.m. kickoff on ESPN in the Big 12. North Texas is playing at Rice. That's an ESPN 3 kickoff. Also, when you go to the HBCU, Howard, they're playing at Delaware State at 2 o'clock p.m. kickoff East Coast time on ESPN. Going to jump to Southern Utah. They're at Montana at 2 p.m. kickoff on ESPN. And then I'm going to take you to Hawaii. They're at Utah State at 3 o'clock kickoff on the Spectrum Network. We have Sacramento State, the Hornets, one of the powers. I picked them to win the national championship and the FCS. They are at Northern Colorado at 3 o'clock p.m. kickoff on ESPN+. North Dakota's at Missouri State at 3 o'clock p.m. kickoff on ESPN. And then Texas Tech in the Big 12 at Oklahoma. Oklahoma's been skating by the skin of their teeth. 3:30 p.m. kickoff on ABC Sports. In the Pac-12, Colorado, the Buffaloes at the Oregon Ducks. You know what's coming. This segment sponsored by the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with all this exotic meat. Last I checked, a buffalo and a duck. Quack, quack, quack. All right, exotic meat going with the Oregon Ducks to get that done. 3:30 kickoff on Fox Sports. Florida State at Clemson, 3:30 p.m. kickoff on ESPN. Boston College up in the great Northeast, where they follow Big C Sports. Boston College at Syracuse at 3:30 p.m. kickoff on the ACC network. And then Purdue at Nebraska in the Big Ten. That's a 3:30 p.m. kickoff on ESPN2. Also, big games down south. Georgia State, they're at Georgia Southern, 6 o'clock p.m. kickoff ESPN. Murray State at Tennessee State, a 6 p.m. kickoff on ESPN. And the SEC, Ole Miss is at Auburn. That's a 7 o'clock p.m. kickoff on ESPN. I got to say it, brought by the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with all this exotic meat. And a War Eagle and a tiger, whatever Auburn happens to be, is exotic meat. Kansas is at Oklahoma State, 7 p.m. kickoff, Fox Sports 1. In the Pac-12, Arizona at USC, the Mighty Trojans, 7 p.m. kickoff on ESPN2 or ESPNU. It is sponsored by the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with all this exotic meat. And a wildcat and a horse are exotic. Oh, wait a minute. It's not called the USC Horses. It's just the Trojans, and they ride a horse. Okay, I beg your pardon. It's still sponsored by the Big C Burger. Oregon State at Cal Berkeley, sponsored by the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with what's all this exotic meat. The Oregon State Beavers and the Cal Golden Bears. The Bear and the Beaver are exotic meat on the Pac-12 network. Boise State at Colorado State. Man, sponsored by the Big C Burger and the Tasty Burger and the Cusfish. What's all this exotic meat? And a Bronco and a Ram are exotic meat. Oh, fair love it. I'm going to finish out with Fresno State at San Diego State, 10:30 p.m. kickoff on CBS Sports Net. And in the Pac-12, UCLA at Utah. What's a Ute? It's a Tribe at 10 p.m. kickoff on the ESPN network. It's all fair in level war. Are you ready for some football? Wishing all the college teams the best. I'm going to highlight before the Big C pause in the Big Ten. Just a couple of games I'll highlight. Number 6, Michigan is at number 7, Michigan State, noontime kickoff on Fox Sports. The crowded Big Ten is really crowded at the top. Both teams coming in undefeated, and that's good for the state of Michigan. Who's got it better than us? We will find out if it's Tucker and them good old boys. When you think about it, the Wolverines quarterback Cade McNamara is steady and keeps the chains moving. Completes about 46% of its conversion rates on a third down. That's going to be important for them. The Spartans have the nation's rushing leader in running back Kenneth Walker III, averaging 142 yards a game. That good old boy is going to try to keep the chains moving as well for the Michigan State Spartans. I'm going to take you to Mississippi, number 9, Mississippi, at number 21, Auburn. And it's a 7 p.m. kickoff, East Coast time on ESPN. The SEC West contenders need a little bit of help in front of another Alabama loss in order to win the division. Auburn will get his shot of the season in the Iron Bowl against Alabama. When you think about it, the game could be slowed down if Auburn emphasizes a run to control the clock. The Rebels' ability to answer the quick strike can make that difficult. They score in a hurry. A big game for both teams. And I'm actually going to go with Mississippi to win it. Isn't that something? Number 16, SMU. They're at Houston. Oh, man, I don't want to say it again. It's sponsored by the Big C Burger. It's a Tasty Burger and a Cusfish. What's all this exotic meat? And a pony and a cougar are exotic meat. 7 p.m. kickoff, East Coast time, ESPN2. When you think about it, there's a lot of hype coming into the American Athletic Conference. But you have these two teams, the Mustangs of SMU and the Cougars out of Houston. I'm telling you, the Mustangs quarterback Tanner Modesty, his name is Modesty, he enters the game with 29 scoring passes, tied for first in the nation. So that boy can throw it to the end zone. He got guys that get yards after the catch. And then the Cougars quarterback Clayton Tune isn't quite as proficient. He completes about 70% of his passes. But it should be a good game. If the Mustangs can make it a track meet, the Cougars might not have the firepower to keep up. I'm going to go to another big game in the Big Ten, and that's Penn State, number 17 in the country. They're at number 5, Ohio State. What's a Buckeye? A Buckeye is a nut. It's a 7:30 p.m. kickoff on East Coast time on ABC Sports. It should be the week's second top 10 showdown for the Big Ten East. This matchup has a lot riding on it. I know Penn State lost that game in overtime last week to Illinois, but they're still a very good team. James Franklin said Clifford will be closer to 100% for the date when this game starts. The Buckeyes quarterback C.J. Stroud and running back Trayvon Henderson have had the Ohio State offense banging out about 50 points a game. Looking for the Ohio State win in this one. All fair and level war. Then number 1, Georgia, they're taking on Florida, 3:30 p.m. kickoff on East Coast time on CBS Sports. It's a big rival of the showdown. They'll play it in Jacksonville. Ordinarily would be much higher on the list, but SEC loves this game. They move it to Jacksonville, a neutral site. Georgia has too much defense for Florida to keep up. But you think about it, Florida's Emory Jones and Anthony Richardson combined for 15 touchdown passes, also 12 interceptions. You can't have 12 interceptions, not against a Georgia team that they lead with defense. It's a nasty defense. They've been shutting people down all season. You look at Daniels, is likely to take the field this week. JT Daniels out of modern-day Santa Ana, all by way of USC. But if he can't, there's still a talent gap along the line of scrimmage. Georgia's just better across the line of scrimmage. I'm looking at Georgia taking that midnight train to Georgia. Oh, they're going to take the midnight train to Jacksonville. They'll take the midnight train to Jacksonville as they will get Buckwell in Jacksonville, and you'll see good college football down there in Jacksonville. We're going to take what's called the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. And when we come back, I'm going to ask you, are you ready for some football? In the words of former California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back. All right, right, we are back from the Big C pause, also known as the Big C Timeout. You can follow Big C Sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on the #1 podcast network in the universe. Actually, 17 podcast networks and 4 TV platforms. W stands for win. All you want to do is win. We want the W. We eat W's. I'm going to start winning W's with the quick, it's a brief Friday night schedule for NBA basketball. Orlando is at Toronto at 7 p.m. tip-off. Charlotte will be at the Miami Heat at 7:30 p.m. tip-off. And then Indiana will be at Brooklyn in the house. The Sacramento Kings, after the upset of the Phoenix Suns, are now down in New Orleans getting some of that fat food in New Orleans. All fair level. They will look to knock off the New Orleans Pelicans. Dallas Mavericks at the Denver Nuggets. And I'm going to say it, it's a tasty nugget. It's sponsored by the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger. The customer was all the exotic meat. And Dallas is a Maverick, and Denver's our Nuggets. So chicken nuggets and horses are tasty. Oh, I mean, come on, have a sense of humor, everybody. We eat horses over in Paris. The LA Clippers at the Portland Trailblazers 10 p.m. tip-off. Also, Dallas at Denver tip-off is 10 p.m. up at Mile High City. And then Cleveland, this is for you. Not so fast, my friend. They used to play for championships. Now Cleveland at the LA Lakers. And the Lakers better win. They better get a win because LeBron James plays for the Lakers this time. So they better get a win in LA. It's all fair and level. There's a big schedule coming up for the weekend. Boston at Washington, New York at New Orleans, Orlando at Detroit. Atlanta will be at Philadelphia, Toronto at Indiana. And then Miami at Memphis, San Antonio at Milwaukee, defending NBA champion Milwaukee Bucks. Give the Bucks some praise. Utah's at Chicago. Chicago's doing their thing. They even got the win streak snap, but they're still playing great. Oklahoma City at the Golden State Warriors. They got had by Memphis. Wow, what a game. Denver at Minnesota and Cleveland at Phoenix. It's all fair and level. Even got some soccer over Saturday. New York City FC at Miami. San Jose at Real Salt Lake. It's all fair and level. CF Montreal at New York, Toronto FC at Atlanta, Columbus at DC United, and Austin FC at FC Dallas. It's all fair and love and war. And as I asked you before, are you ready for some football? Of course you are. NFL style. Big C starts last night in the desert. The Miami Dolphins to celebrate. The Dolphins, sponsored by the Big C Burger, is a tasty burger, and it comes with all this exotic meat because the Dolphin is an exotic meat. It goes great with the Cardinals, and they packed on ice. The Green Bay Packers packed on ice. The Green Bay Packers, you have quarterback Rasul Douglas. The interception saves the game. Aaron Rodgers only had 184 yards passing. Kyler Murray had 274 yards passing, but he does have a hitch in his giddy up. You notice he had a little sore ankle at the end of that game after that game, and it got happened late in the game. But Green Bay goes into the desert and comes away with a 24-21 win with a goal line stand that 72 Dolphins can celebrate. The Green Bay Packers, Aaron Jones had a big game. No Devontae Adams, but it did matter. Touchdown, Aaron Rodgers was still finding a way to win. They're 7-1 on the season. And the first team to score over 20 on Arizona, which falls to 7-1. It was a great game on Thursday Night Football. Give NFL Thursday Night Football some praise. Give that crowd praise. That's the way the game should be played. It was good to the last drop. All fair level work. We're going to go on to the Sunday games. Cincinnati 5-2 at the New York Jets 1-5 at TV. 1 p.m. kickoff East Coast time Sunday on CBS Sports. And I'm going to say the Bengals are favored by 9.5. The keys of the game, quarterback Joe Burrow, Cincinnati should make it a point to get the wide receiver Jamar Chase. That good boy is touchdown. He's a touchdown maker already ready to score in the game hadn't even kicked off yet. The Bengals should look to be a part of the young secondary to pick them apart with Chase and Tyler Boyd. I really like the way Cincinnati plays good football. For the Jets, quarterback Mike White will start. He looks slow playing in the NFL speed for the first time, replacing Zach Wilson, who has a knee injury. But look for the Cincinnati Bengals to run all over this team. Up to the line of scrimmage, 4-man front, 5 wideouts, and Burrow back to pass. Looking, throws downfield, it is caught at the 20, 10-5 touchdown, Bengals. That good boy, Jamar Chase, 50 yards. It's all fair level one. You'll see a lot of scores in that game for the Cincinnati Bengals. And then I'm going to take you out to Houston. The Los Angeles Rams at 6-1 on the season at the Houston Texans 1-6 on the season. It's a 1 p.m. kickoff East Coast time Sunday on Fox Sports. And the Rams are favored by 14.5. 14.5 in an NFL game? My goodness. They might just get it. You got to think about controlling the tempo. Quarterback Matthew Stafford, touchdown Matthew Stafford. They can move the ball with running back Darrell Henderson or using the pass and attack. Houston, they got to get him early. Quarterback Jalen Ramsey, he's going to need to shut down the Texas best receiver while the line is going to try to eat all day down in Texas. The Texans, if they have a chance, like Dumb and Dumber, we have a chance. If they get a lot of penalties and turnovers, been a problem. They need quarterback David Mills to throw quick passes and screens to neutralize that big pass rush by, Darren Donald's going to go eat some lunch. Brandon Cooks, wide receiver, been the lone consistent element on offense. The running game needs to hit its parameters. I just think the Rams are too strong and they'll go down and they'll represent LA very well down in Texas. All fair and level war, going with the Rams on that. I'm going to go to another game. Now, keep in mind this game, some things have turned on some inside knowledge that I have. Touchdown Patrick, think about this. Touchdown Derrick Henry. Patrick Mahomes was beaten up last week by the Tennessee defense. The defense should play well. Let me get into it. Patrick Mahomes figured out that defense was pretty tough for Tennessee. Can they do it week to week? Back to back, Tennessee 5-2 at Indianapolis 3-4. It's a 1 p.m. kickoff East Coast time Sunday on CBS Sports. Now the Colts are favored by 2.5. 2.5 against that team? The reason why the offense must run through running back Derrick Henry had 144 yards in week 3 against Indianapolis, but he has not practiced all week. That's a clue. Quarterback Ryan Tannehill is going to need to limit turnovers. He's going to have to hit A.J. Brown and Julio Jones. On defense, move quarterback Carson Wentz out of the pocket. They got to do that. But if you don't have Henry controlling, moving the clock, moving the sticks, it's going to be difficult if he's going to play at all, but he hasn't practiced all week. If he does play, he may be a little bit limited. And then Carson Wentz has to continue pushing the ball down the field. Wide receiver Michael Pittman Jr. and T.Y. Hilton having a balanced attack with running back Jonathan Taylor. But can they do it against that defense? Now, touchdown Henry might be banged up, but the defense, we saw what they did to Patrick Mahomes. And I know the Colts are favored by 2.5. I'm still going to go with Tennessee, get that slight win, maybe a field goal down the stretch, all fair and level. Cleveland, this is for you. Maybe. The Pittsburgh Steelers 3-3 at the Cleveland Browns 4-3 at 1 o'clock p.m. to kick off East Coast time Sunday on CBS Sports. And the Browns are favored by 3.5. They must stop the Cleveland rushing attack. The offense will have to protect quarterback Big Ben Roethlisberger to keep the ball in their possession. And then you got the Browns defensive ends, Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney. They got to stop these good boys. They got to have short passing game from Pittsburgh, and Najee Harris has to get his chest out and win. Now the Cleveland pass defense can be attacked though, so short passes and runs after the catch, yards after the catch will help Pittsburgh if they're going to win that game. You can't have Big Ben 5-step drop, looking, he'll get sacked. 3-step drop, throw it. Handoff, throw screens out of the backfield, whatever it takes. And then for the Browns, Case Keenum needs to be a good game manager. That's a big if, quarterback Baker Mayfield's shoulder is a no-go, and many people are saying it's a no-go, maybe still a game-time decision. But the offense needs to be healthy to open up holes to run. Cleveland wins when they run the ball. Nick Chubb has a calf injury, could return. If DeAndre Johnson showed that he can also carry the load. Cleveland has a very good offensive line that can make it tough for Pittsburgh. I'm going to take it to Philadelphia Freedom, but they're going to play in Detroit. Philadelphia 2-5 at Detroit 0-7, 1 o'clock p.m. to kick off East Coast time, Sunday on CBS Sports. And the Eagles are favored by 3.5, sticking to the run with the Miles Sanders and running back Kenneth Gainwell. And quarterback Jalen Hurts would make life easier for Hurts. When you think about it, been a little bit inconsistent in inefficient passing game. They got to avoid the self-inflicted injuries. They got to stop doing that. The Detroit Lions, they talk about breaking kneecaps and skulls and breaking bones. They didn't mean their own players, but scoring early would help them. Jared Goff has to get his confidence back. It would boost the run game led by Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift. They got to find a way to contain Hurts the way the Raiders did last week in Las Vegas. The run game is going to be crucial for linebacker Alex Alonso. And then safety Tracy Walker. But safety Will Harris and linebacker Derek Barnes will need to step up too. Man, will Detroit get their first win of the season? I'll tell you after the game's over. I don't know how to pick this. The sports book is going by the Philadelphia 3.5. But you saw Detroit play the Rams close in Los Angeles. Now they're back home against a team not as tough as the Rams. maybe you got to be right. Even a blind nut finds a squirrel every night, or the blind squirrel finds a nut. I said a blind nut finds a squirrel. A blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then. I'm going to go with Detroit to get their first win. I've been wrong before on Detroit. And now, are you ready for the football? San Francisco. What the world are you doing with a 2-4 record? Jimmy G returns back to the neighborhood where he grew up near O'Hare Airport. Has about 100 fans that are watching. They got to find a way to get the ball to multiple players on offense. San Francisco 2-4 at the Chicago Bears 3-4. It's a 1 p.m. kickoff Sunday, East Coast time on Fox Sports. Khalil Mack is doubtful for the game, and some people say that he's not going to play on defense. That doesn't help the Bears. The 49ers are favored by 3.5. Quarterback Jimmy G has to get the ball to his playmakers, including wide receiver Deebo Samuel, who's an amazing Brandon Ayuk. And the problem is the offensive line. They have to contend with the Bears' pass rush. There is no outside linebacker rush from Khalil Mack. Rumor is that he's not going to play. He's questionable at best. Robert Quinn, one of the best in the NFL. If there's no Mack, wherever Mack is not in, go that side of the field. Just run away from that side of the field, the Bears. It's a big if they have a balanced offensive attack, which starts with running the football against the 49ers defensive front. And the defense for the 49ers, man, they got to start stepping up. I know if you pass against the Niners, you have a better chance. But Justin Fields is still a rookie passer. So I like the 49ers, blitz, and hopefully they can get out there and eat. But think about it. The defense giving up more than 100 rushing yards per game. Chicago's offense is going to need to do a good job protecting quarterback Justin Fields. Man, I'm still going to go with the Niners going back to Chicago. And Jimmy Garoppolo does have Super Bowl experience. I think that will help out in the win over the Bears at Soldier Field. Lance will have a good game. Justin Fields will have a good game. Lance is not going to play, I don't think, unless Jimmy G has problems. But I'm going to go with Jimmy G over Justin Fields because of Super Bowl quarterback experience versus a guy that's still a rookie. Carolina at Atlanta, the Panthers at the Falcons. This is sponsored by the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger that it comes with all the exotic meats. And the Panther and the Falcon are exotic meats. Carolina's 3-4 at Atlanta 3-3. 1 o'clock p.m. kickoff East Coast time Sunday on Fox Sports. Now pay attention to the line, guys, because the Falcons were favored by 3.5. And now just late news on Friday. The point spread is 1.5. It's dropped that much, so something's going on that we haven't all heard about. But when money moves that way, now they're a slider. They're going from a 3.5 point favorite, which is the field goal, to now 1.5. That line just moved today. So keep that in mind. The Panthers, their pass rush has the ability to do a little bit of a brain job on Atlanta quarterback Matt Ryan to disrupt his rhythm. The real key for the Panthers is going to be moving the football. The best way to expose the Falcons' lack of defense is look for running backs to get the ball up and down the field, moving the clock. You don't need long runs. Just move the ball, move the sticks, and look for quarterback Sam Darnold to use his legs on third down. Now the Falcons scoring early on slow to slow down Carolina's pass rush. And then you have the Panthers are without star running back Christian McCaffrey, who makes more money than a touchdown Derrick Henry. How in the world? Who would ever have thought that? Maybe you got to talk to your agent about that. But the Panthers without star running back Christian McCaffrey, so Atlanta can focus on slowing down rookie running back Chuba Hubbard out of Oklahoma State. Defensive coordinator Dean Pease will need to get creative and get pressure. They got to do that. But again, the big thing for me, the line was 3.5 for the Falcons at home. And now it's down to 1.5. What's happening that we don't know about? But money moves, follow the money. I'm still going to go with Atlanta, but a little bit closer than the 3.5 they were getting. I'm going to go to Miami Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills. This is segment sponsored by the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger. And it comes with what's all the exotic meat. And a Bill and a Dolphin are exotic meat. Miami's 1-6. And Flores says he liked Tua Tagovailoa. What else are you going to say? They're at Buffalo 4-2. This game's going to be a blowout. It's a 1 o'clock p.m. kickoff East Coast time Sunday on CBS Sports. The Bills are favored by 13.5. A huge factor in their Week 2 loss to Buffalo was an awful start. Tua was sacked twice in the first drive and injured his rib cage in the second. And then when you think about it also, Miami must start better and they must play smarter. The Dolphins had 3 giveaways against Buffalo. They're not going to get 3 giveaways in this game. The key for Buffalo, they're coming off a bye week after the loss to Tennessee. Could have been a win, but the offensive guard he slipped and got blown up, and then obviously they were not able to pick up that first down with Allen. But think about the Bills should not meet a lot of motivation in this game. They got to repeat their 35-0 win in Week 2. They should go a lot further this game after turnovers. Look for the safety pairing of Micah Hyatt and Jordan Poyer to help accomplish that goal. Look for Buffalo to pick off at least twice against the Miami Dolphins quarterbacks, because they should jump out to a lead and force the Dolphins to have to pass and play from behind. What a big game coming to I love LA. We love it. Last year's Offensive Rookie of the Year, Justin Touchdown Herbert. The Chargers are 4-2 coming into town. Mac Jones with the New England Patriots. They are 3-4 at the Chargers at beautiful SoFi Stadium. A 4:05 p.m. kickoff, East Coast time, Sunday on CBS Sports. Now the Chargers are favored by 5.5. You know, maybe just maybe the crowd will start getting behind them. They had a blowout loss at the Baltimore Ravens. They had a bye week. They're going to be rested. Now the keys for the Patriots, they got to exploit the Chargers' run defense, which has allowed 162 yards a game. That's not good. And the last in the NFL, the New England's coming off a game in which they totaled 148 yards and 4 touchdowns on the ground against the New York Jets. They got to figure out a way to get the crowd on their side at beautiful SoFi Stadium in Southern California. The Chargers are a lot better team than the Jets. The Chargers keep touchdown Joe Herbert. I mean, think about it. If I think about it, what's going to help, Justin Herbert is a stud. Had a bad game against Baltimore. Get him some quick short passes to get his confidence back. Use quick passes and play action in the passing game. After seeing how the Ravens attacked quarterback Justin Herbert, touchdown Justin Herbert, the Patriots are going to drop something similar with Bill Jedi Belichick to get after him early and often. The offensive coordinator, Joe Lombardi, he must be more efficient on early downs. And against Belichick, if you're at home and you want to go for it on fourth downs, maybe do so late in the game if you need it. But don't go for it on 4th and 4 on your own side of the 50, giving New England short field position. Play smart. If you're late in the game and you're down by 3, you want to go on 4th and 4 from, say, New England's 40, yeah, do it then, but don't do it in the first half. And I'm going to go with the Chargers. They're favored by 5.5. That's a lot against Bill Belichick because they lost by a field goal at home to Dallas and also Tampa. This is a team that makes it very difficult to go in there and win. But now they're on the road. Still, 5.5 is a lot. I'm going to say the Chargers win, but maybe by 3. Bill Belichick is a Jedi mindset, and he's a lot to do with when he comes to this, advising a game plan, and to see New England go to 3-5, probably going to happen, but it'll be a tough 3-5. It won't be a 5.5 point favorite. That's a lot to overcome with that kind of defense. I'm going to go Jacksonville at the Seattle Seahawks. This game is brought up by the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger that comes with all those exotic meats. And Seattle needs to win. Could you believe there's sleepers in Seattle? Seattle is horrendous at home in Lumen Field. It's a 4:05 p.m. kickoff Sunday East Coast time on CBS Sports, and the Seahawks are favored by 3.5. Really? Well, maybe, just maybe, they will find a way to score. Think about it. Week 7, they managed only 9 yards on 6 carries with running back Rashard Penny. That's not good. A balanced offense to help take the pressure off of backup quarterback Geno Smith. And then largely falling on often injured running back Rashard Berry, struggled last week in the running game. How about get DK Metcalf on a reverse? How about get DK Metcalf on a 10-yard out? You don't always have to go 40-yard passes downfield. Let him get some yards after the catch. He's big, strong, and fast. Let him break some tackles. You know, Bill Walsh used to devise a game plan with Jerry Rice. He would script his first 20 plays. Jerry Rice was going to be in at least 4 of those plays. Get him the ball. DK Metcalf is a game maker. You can't play passive. You got nothing to lose. Jacksonville, I doubt if they're going to get their first win of the season. But, you know, back in the day, USC Trojans, I don't quite remember the year. It might have been 2008. They were, I think they were ranked number 1 in the country, and then they ended up losing the game to Oregon State, I think. And they ended up being number 3 at the end of the season. Florida was undefeated, as well as Oklahoma. And Florida with Tim Tebow played, it was Oklahoma in the national championship game, and they beat them 24-14. Pete Carroll was coaching USC. They beat Penn State in the Rose Bowl, 38-24. I was saying that Florida and USC should have played for the national championship. That was my thinking. Why? It was Urban Meyer and Pete Carroll. USC and Florida were the king of the mountains in college football then. So now they get a chance to match wits. This is a redo of what would have happened USC versus Florida for the national championship game. And I'm thinking it's 2008. I might be wrong about the year. 2008, somewhere in there, I believe. I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks with that crowd at Lumen Field. Let's get ready to rumble! Get the ball to DK Metcalf 10 times to win the game. Even if you got to have it on a reverse or a handoff. I mean, you got to do that. And then Geno Smith, play like you want to. You play it to win the game. You're not going to lose to the rookie quarterback coming in and Trevor Lawrence. Blitz, blitz, blitz. Make him see the Legion of Boom. I'm going to go Washington football team 2-5 at Denver. Denver's 3-4. Mile High Stadium. Man, Fangio, will he be on his way out? If they don't win, they may not wait till the end of the season. It's a 4:25 p.m. kickoff, East Coast time, Sunday on Fox Sports. And the Broncos are favored by 3.5. When you look at Washington, the Washington football team, they got to be aggressive in the passing game. They got to target wide receiver Terry McLaurin deep. Hit deep. Left field. No, Charlton, that's a football metaphor. We got to do back to pass. Looking, throws downfield and is caught for the touchdown. Touchdown! Come on, Washington got to score on the road. But Denver's defense, the Broncos have allowed a deep, think about this, the Broncos have allowed a deep 48-yard pass or more for touchdowns in 3 of the past 4 games. Up to the line of scrimmage, 4 wideouts, 5-man front, back to pass, looking, throws downfield and is caught for the touchdown! Touchdown! Washington football team, 50 yards! Wow, Denver's probably going to give up another deep touchdown pass. I know they were led up by touchdown Derek Carr. Also, they got beat up by Case Keenum also when they were up in Cleveland. Look for Denver with Teddy Bridgewater. Had a bad leg last week up in Cleveland, and he played well, but he had an extra couple of days rest. I'm going to go with Denver to get the win at home at Mile High in the city that's Mile High. For so many reasons, they got to get that win. And now, I'm going to bring it to, are you ready for some football? Football down in the South. But I want to finish up on Washington. I just be remiss if I didn't say this. Defensive end Chase Young has the talent to blow up a game plan. Touchdown Teddy Bridgewater completing 70% of his passes, 1,700 yards, and 12 touchdowns. Only has 5 interceptions. Give that some praise. And he played it with a hitch in his giddy up against Cleveland. He'll be better this week. He could be poised to have a strong day against Washington's underperforming secondary, especially if wide receiver Jerry Jeudy ain't can return. If he returns up to the line of scrimmage, gum the Broncos, 4 wideouts, 5-man front by the Washington football team. Bridgewater the snap, looking deep, throws downfield, and it's caught! Caught for the touchdown! Touchdown! Broncos! Jerry Jeudy, 50 yards! Look for Bridgewater getting over 300 yards passing in this game against that secondary for the Washington football team. I'm going to take you to Tampa Bay Buccaneers, defending NFL champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady, please, Tom, don't hurt him. 6-1 on the season at the New Orleans Saints. They are 4-2 with a touchdown, Jameis Winston. Now you get to see how you really feel about me, okay? The last time touchdown Jameis Winston threw a pass at home in the Dome versus Tampa Bay was for a touchdown. They took him out. They said, wait, you got to follow the script. And they took him out. We have a 4:25 p.m. kickoff East Coast time Sunday on Fox Sports. The Buccaneers are favored by 5.5. Not so fast, my friend. They cannot allow the Saints to control the pace. The Buccaneers may need a heavy workload for running back Leonard Fournette to do that. You know, he played his ball down at LSU back in the day. On defense, second-level defenders like linebacker Devin White have to tackle more cleanly, especially against running back Alvin Kamara, who should have a breakout game. Give the ball to Kamara on screen plays. Get it to him on slants. Get it to him on reverse. Whatever you got to do, get the ball in his hand. Let him touch the rock 25 times if you want to have a chance. It's not about Jameis Winston trying to come out and outthrow Tom Brady. It's about controlling the ball. And you control the ball against that Tampa defense. They're going to come after you a lot. But the crowd in New Orleans, the Saints, who they say they're going to beat them Saints? They have a chance, guys. 5.5 is a lot, especially against that defense. The Saints keys, Tampa Bay's had a rough time defending the furthest reaches of the field, and that's where quarterback Jameis Winston needs to attack early and often. On the other side of the ball, they got to pressure quarterback Tom Brady. Make him release the ball fast. Come after him with abandon, reckless abandon. blitz, blitz, blitz. If you blitz him a lot, you force him to throw the ball quick. You know he has playmakers, but don't let him sit back there in the pocket and not get after him. Watch the film that the Rams had against Tom Brady. They didn't sit back and watch him throw the ball. They came after him. They were not respecting, oh my God, he's Tom Brady, he's 7 Super Bowls. The Rams didn't care, and New Orleans has to play that same way if they want to get Jameis Winston out there with the win. I can't wait to see that game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. 5.5, that's a lot to give against a team down in that dome. But we will see what happens. Sometimes the NFL didn't know how to protect their prodigal players. Are you ready for some football? That Viking horn is loud. Dallas Cowboys average 34 points a game. They are 6-0 against the spread. The Cowboys are 5-1 on the season, coming off the bye now. Minnesota's 3-3 on the season. It's an 8:20 p.m. kickoff East Coast time, Sunday on NBC Sports. And the Cowboys, pay attention. They started -5. They were a 5-point favorite. And now Las Vegas has done something. It's fishy. Because now this is Friday evening. And the point spread is now 1.5. How did it go from 5 to 1.5? Now there's rumors that Dak Prescott is out of this game. Now the media keeps telling if Dak Prescott has a calf, if he plays, they're saying if, then the offense should not have too much trouble picking apart the inexperienced Minnesota secondary. I'm telling you, Dallas is going to win the East. Do you bring back Dak Prescott if he has even a slight hitch in his giddy up? That's something that you got to think about if you're Minnesota. They might be licking the chops. Kirk Cousins might say, you like that, you like that. If rumors are true from my sources that Dak Prescott may not play, even though the NFL is going to tell you that they're saying that he's probable. But my sources are saying he's not going to play at all. And we'll find out come Sunday. But think about it. Minnesota secondary is not that good. You add the Dallas cornerback Trevon Diggs. His knack of creating turnovers is hard to see the Vikings running away with this. Now the Vikings, they have the talent to keep pretty much anybody close. Quarterback Kirk Cousins capable of moving the ball against the Dallas defense. The Buccaneers, think about it. The Buccaneers gave the blueprint of how to beat Dallas. Yeah, they have Tom Brady on your team. Kirk Cousins is not Tom Brady. But you think about it. If you think about Prescott not playing in this game, I'm telling you, Minnesota has a chance. It's a slight chance. The defense has a big passing game plays. I like Dallas maybe in a close one. They went from a 5-point favorite to 1.5. So something's going on with the health of Dak Prescott that they're not trying to tell everybody. And in my opinion, that makes it a toss-em. This might be a field goal game. To go from 5-point favorite to 1.5, that got to make you wonder something's going on. And oftentimes they protect their information. They don't let it all out. So we'll see what happens in that game. I'm going to close out. Are you ready for some football? A Monday night party. The New York Giants, they are 2-5 at the Kansas City Chiefs. 3-4, 8:15 p.m. kickoff East Coast time. Monday on ESPN. Kansas City's favored by 9.5. Now, for the Giants, if they can jump out to an early lead, the Giants can perhaps force the Chiefs to make some mistakes. They tend to do that on their own lately. They had a really bad game against Tennessee last weekend. And then Patrick Mahomes has just not been himself. He's been erratic on the passing game and let the likes of defensive lineman Leonard Williams, and then you also Aziz Olajuwon make it a long day for him. He has to get his head right in this game. I know he was dazed against Tennessee last week. Has to get his head right. And Kansas City can. But this is not the Kansas City defense that can let you just score all over them and bring the offense on the field and they figure out how to win. The offense has turned the ball over too many times. Now for the Chiefs, they need to play clean after a 27-3 beatdown to the Tennessee Titans. They're going to need some home cooking, and they're going to have some home cooking early. The defense had drive extending penalties to give up long receptions. The offense could expect Patrick Mahomes, when you think about it. The offense, they got to figure out how to protect Mahomes. He has to get out of his own way in terms of dropping the ball, fumbling the ball, and having just foolish passes. If a player's not open, then don't throw the ball. This is a make or break week for Kansas City. We can't keep saying, they can come back and beat anybody because they have Patrick Mahomes. They show them that something's up. But I think the home crowd, one of the loudest crowds in the NFL, we're going to bring Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy on offense, and quit trying to throw deep downfield. Let the run game happen, short passes, get Mahomes' confidence back, and see if they can get out to a win in Kansas City, because they need that to try to keep pace with the Raiders, who have a bye week. It's all fair and level war. So that's Big C Sports. We brought you Big C's Friday Night Lights. May all the high school games be safe, played safe tonight. Varsity and college football, some NBA basketball, also the World Series already underway in Atlanta. Under some raindrops that are falling on the head. As we always say, happy Friday. Back in the day, there's a man by the name of Drew Boudini Brown. He was known as Muhammad Ali's right-hand man, and he would always tell Ali, you float like a butterfly, you sing like a bee, you rumble, young men rumble. With all you've got to use, how can you lose? And Ali said, I'm pretty, I'm handsome, I can't possibly be beat. With all these Big C burgers, it makes me light on my feet. That's why I float like a butterfly and I sing like a bee. I rumble, young men rumble. I'm always going to rumble. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier and down goes Frazier. I love those fights back in the day of Ali. You can fight too. There's never evidence used for racism or domestic violence. If you know any man, woman, or child going through that garbage, pick up the phone and ask for help, because no man, woman, or child should ever have to go through that garbage on their own. And as we always tell you on every Big C Sports film, we thank you, we appreciate it, and we hope that you have a super fantastic day. Enjoy your beautiful weekend. Everyone be safe on Halloween. Happy Halloween.